Welcome back to the channel. It's Jonathan, he's working on the mould. I'm going to take you around. I haven't recorded anything for a couple of days. A couple of days of being here, just because. So, spin you around. So, what have I done? I've painted the roof and the doors. I think the last time you've seen us like dabbing in pinholes, so let's have a look at that. No more pinholes, and nice and smooth. So these have also been flatted and polished. The roof's been flatted and polished. Nice. I've had another problem with the black. I don't know what the hell's going on, but the fleet factors keep on. That's pretty much gloss, isn't it? You know. Jonathan thinks I'm putting it on too heavy, but like if you don't, you get like heavy orange peel. So, and then look at this. Those are like that's a handprint. That's a mark off my overalls. You see the pattern in there, so it's not hardening properly either. So I don't know. They tell us the mixed ratio is 5:1, which seems like not a lot of activator at all, but that's what they say it is. So you mix it at 5:1. I don't know. It's not satin, and just by contrast, that's rattle can satin. So I'm probably going to end up rattle canning that as well, to be honest with you. But for now, it'll do. But what am I supposed to do with that? That's tape. I taped that off. Just to mask that off because I needed to sand that little bit of overspray in there, and then takes the tape off and it leaves that mark. So super not happy with the satin black, but I'm sick of chasing it. That's the second time I've done the back, I think, maybe the third. I don't know how many times I've done the roof, but it's all right now. I'm reasonably happy with it. I painted these bits. Now these bits are going to be covered with a carbon fibre trim. Right, you're going to have a couple of options as far as the kit's concerned. You can either blend that into the pillar, fill it in and blend it in, or put the trim over it. Now that's where the trim's going to come up to, because I want to create like a wraparound look to it. So I rounded off the edges now. You can see here I've painted the sealer there as well. It needs done all the way along, but I'll just do that separately. Obviously I'm never going to get it as black as that, so just by cleaning it off and the dust and that. So I'll give it a good clean and then black that as well, just so that that's a consistent tone all the way around. This side similar. Again, I've lent on it there and it shouldn't have marked, but it did. Pretty damn happy with it, really. So I've got the door handles to put back in, and the mirrors there all painted as well, ready to go on. But we're getting there with the jobs on the car over here. This has been a slow, tricky process, but we are getting there with it. Jonathan's just, so that this is the last bit that we've done, or rather Jonathan's done. So he's just taking the fences off now, and then we're going to be able to, we've got a couple more fences to put up, and then we've got this section here from there to there. So that's going to be one panel in there. Same again on this side. That goes in there, something like that. So that'll be a separate piece, and then we'll have the quarter panel, which will be that shape. There'll be a fence down there on that corner, and then we'll have the back panel. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more areas to do. Like I've said in the videos, we're only up to, there's 3 layers thick at the minute. We've got another 2 to go on each area, but we're getting them all up to 3 layers thick, trim all the fences back, get everything done, and then just do the lot with the last 2 coats. This bit here, you see how complex this area is in here. We've got this section under here, so you can imagine our bolts are going to be coming through these areas here and there and there. But all of this here, look at how complex that is, just to be able to form the inside part of that vent. So obviously the fence is off here now. That's the gel coat. That creates the fence for the quarter panel. So we are getting there, but it's been quite a painfully slow process. What I'm going to try and do this week is get this mould finished. If we can get this mould finished and off the Clam, then I can stick the Clam back on the car, and I can take it to the Cars and Coffee meet that's happening at the White Heather this Sunday, which would be absolutely awesome if we can. It'd be it's a big ask, but it is possible. So I'm not going to do anything with the car this week. I'm just going to leave it and focus on this, and hopefully we'll get this done and dusted. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to stick it on a tripod. With all the howking about and pulling, pushing, rolling, it's moved and it keeps on falling off the packers and that we've got underneath it. But this needs to be sat as straight as possible when we're moulding it, because otherwise if it's sat twisted, then the mould will be twisted as well. Jonathan's just necking the turns for the bottom edges now while you were away. Also got the door handles in, mirrors on. I've been cleaning up the glass. Same on the other side, cleaning up the rubbers and stuff. Obviously got the windscreen to do. This all needs wash. I'll be putting the bumper on soon. Well, bolting it up, getting the hinges on, getting the bonnet on, just so that I can drive it round to the Cars and Coffee meet, which I don't actually have to leave the airfield to do that. I can drive in between the hangars and stuff and get to the White Heather via the airfield itself. So I think we'll get it done. I think we'll have to get all the parts. But we'll have to get the clam out of the mould basically to be able to do it. So we need to get the mould to the stage where that's ready. But it's looking like we're going to do it. So this is like little strands of fibreglass, 6mm long, chopped strand, and it's for filling in awkward little areas where you've got like a really tight corner. Oh, welcome back to the channel. I'm just cleaning up Jonathan's mess, which was inevitable, apparently. So, while you're away, now 2 coats of 450 gram matting on there, and obviously this resin's different to the last one. This is the tooling resin. Just getting that's a second coat going on there as well. We had a little blister in the top coat on here, just on there. So we've repaired that, dug it out, like ground the top of it off, and put some more matting on there. It was just in the top coat, it wasn't in the top layer of matting, it wasn't in the one below it, or the one below it. So we're getting there. The next thing will be, once these have cured, these sections here, we can take these fences off, and then we'll be doing the gel coat on the quarter panel down there. Up to this point here, we haven't got the fences down this edge yet because there's still fences in the way there. So once we can get these off, we can put another fence down there and do the gel coat on the quarters, get them to this stage. And like I've been saying, these need another 2 layers of the tooling resin with the 450 gram, but we're just getting it all to this stage, and then we'll be able to sort of mix a bigger batch of resin and just blast through it, getting the extra layers on top of that. So, but we're making progress, good progress. Still a lot of cleaning up to do. I'm going to start cleaning the interior and that as well. We've got this cars and coffee meet at the weekend, so if I can't get the Clam out of the mould by the weekend, then I'm just going to take the car like that. I've missed a bit on the mirrors. Paint the mirrors. I haven't missed it, but I've got a really poor coat on there. They're not 100%, but they're on for now. The handles, for some reason, they look a slightly different colour, even though they absolutely shouldn't be, because they were primed and 2 coats of white. So I don't know what's going on there, but they just look, I don't know why. Maybe it's because this paint has been polished, the door's been flatted and polished, but the handles haven't. So maybe that's why, I don't know. But both handles look a little bit different to the door. The bonnet hasn't been sat on the car for quite a while, so it's nice to see that back on. Not that it's on, look at that, it's just... Look at me, I'm marking the doors, look. So I'm gonna get the front bumper bolted up and the bonnet so that it's on and positioned, and the interior of the car needs cleaned out, and it needs a pressure wash as well. It hasn't had a wash, and there's that much dust sitting about in all the nooks and crannies. I think the best way is just to pressure wash it. Yeah, that's where we're at the moment. So I've been cleaning, give the interior a good wipe over. It's going to take a few wipes, like it needs hoovered and that as well, so I've blown it out, give it a wipe over, and it's going to need a proper clean, but it's just getting rid of dust. I'm going to put the bonnet on the front bumper. So the front bumper's got to be done first, and the hinges go onto the front bumper, so the hinge mounts the bumper. A while ago I made these, a long time ago I made these. So these are the little like packers for the hinge. So the hinge sits like that. See how that's got a recess there? That's for the bearing of the hinge, because these are roller bearing hinges. Like so. And then obviously the bonnet attaches to one side and the bottom side attaches to the bumper and the cross member. But these are actually made out of perspex, so they're transparent. So the idea was that they'll actually, if I do wire up some LEDs into the back of that, I'll be able to, it'll essentially work as like little marker lights sitting underneath the bonnet. So just making a little feature of them rather than them just being a packer. I don't know whether these got different size bolts. Don't know whether these ones are going to be long enough. Don't think they are. Probably not. They're really awkward to get at as well. Yes, I need the long ones for that. That one there's on a step. There's like a bit of metal right beside the bolt. It's a lot easier going from there. I don't know why we haven't been doing it that way before. On the bolt? Going from that way. I was always going from that way and thinking, bloody hell, these are really awkward to get at. They're easy to get at from there. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since these brackets have been bolted up. Another thing that Ricky was saying, or comments in his videos, which I've had the same comment as well, about swearing, eh? Yeah. Oh, you shouldn't swear. I don't know. Cubes has been like editing out shit and leaving fucks.
Really?
Aye. I don't know, to a certain extent I stand by my swearing. I think I've tamed it down. I have tamed it down, I know I've tamed it down. It's not totally gone, I'm well aware of that. But so I'd clearly forgotten, but apparently we've put the captive nuts in there now, in the back edge of the bumper, so we don't have to mess on with a spanner. Right, so that's the bonnet bolted up. I'll just go around here and give you a front visual. The corners of the bumpers, the bumper rather, needs bracketed still, so they're hanging down a little bit at that back corner there and both sides. And with those packers, it does actually like lift it up higher than it would normally be slightly. I don't know, I think it looks better for it. I needed the higher that is, the further the bonnet will lift up. So with where we've put the hinges, it needs to be that height to get a decent lift on it. It's increased the mouth of that section, the bit above the bumper in between the bonnet and the bumper. It's increased the size of that slightly, and it's stopped, let's get up to here, it's stopped it contacting there, so it doesn't sit down right onto there anymore, which I don't think it should. So let's give it, because if it did, it would just be rubbing all the time. When it's in position, yeah, it's gonna sit like that. It's not even that when you get down here. Obviously, there's clearance here. Yeah, you couldn't not have clearance there. The only other option was for the hinges to be fully mounted forward and sticking out. Yeah. But that looks hideous. Looks like a flipping farm gate. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
you can still see the hinge, but with the
but it's yeah, and it's, you know, I'll black that hinge as well, and it'll, you know, it makes it discreet. On the other ones, they're actually physically sticking out. It looks horrible. I think that's a lot neater. Anyway, the raising and using these packers was necessary to be able to put the hinge back and then for it to be able to lift, because I really didn't want the hinges sticking out the front. So that's why that's like that. You know, you can't see it from above, which, like I say, on every other one that I've seen, including I think on the actual original RS200s, you can see the hinge. Go over here, Jonathan's gonna remove the fences because this fiberglass is now cured. Well, if it marks it, it marks it, do you know what I mean? I was always expecting to have to repaint after the moulding.
There is one or two little marks.
Yeah, so, you know.
Very small though, there's one up there already.
Yeah, it's no big deal. I'm not bothered at all. And I'm going to have to paint the clam anyway. Well, I don't have to paint the full thing, but there's that crack round there on the other side as well. Yeah. But I absolutely expected to have to at least repaint the clam, but the whole car, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be fussed at all if I had to repaint it. I mean, at a glance, you know, if I can get these pictures of the car together,
I think
then yeah, and then I'll get the pictures of the car in white, and then I can consider the potential colour change. See there the glue that's left behind, and that putting a full seam of glue in is definitely, you're able, oh no, I mean, it is breaking off, but I think it's easier than having lots of separate little bits. I noticed in this bit here looks like that has joined to that bit. Fine. Yeah,
don't worry about it. There will be a break, but once you pop it,
it'll just pop off.
It has been waxed and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. It's right up to the
exactly.
So it's right up to the face, isn't it?
Just cut that with a blade.
And out of all the pieces on this mould, this is actually the section I think that we're pretty confident it will pop out of there, but this is going to have to lift up at the back slightly, just break the seal, and then it's gonna have to come off backwards just so it gets out of this bit here. But as long as this is strong enough, we can whack that with flipping.
Yeah, the other thing as well is that window will actually come out the way, so we can hit it here.
Yeah.
You know, that won't be
Yeah.
there, so we can pull that out the way and hit this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because this isn't over the end as well, just a little bit, but I think that should tap off, shouldn't
no, it's
it?
not over it. Cause
No, it's not.
No, it's not, because by the time I take this off.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so even like tapping it with a rubber mallet at that point there should release it in reverse. And it's only got to go about
just a tiny
centimetre back before it's freed itself. Just wants a bit of tape over it, and it's been all right. We found that waxing before we put the glue on made a big difference as to how it comes off. When you hadn't waxed it and put the glue on, the glue was very reluctant to come off. Now seeing that with the fence off,
yeah, it's not a problem.
it's not going to be a problem. I'm not worried about it now. It was just that last little bit, like it looked like it was.
Right at the edge,
Yeah.
so this is actually at the top of the roll of the edge.
Yeah.
That line, so it's very, very close to the top.
So next is put the fences on these corners, and then we can do the quarter panels and the side vent, gel coat, all one section that. So gel coat, what is it, like a barrier, we're calling that a barrier coat with the 300 GSM standing for grams per square metre. The red gel coat, the barrier coat with the 300 GSM glass, and then obviously 2 coats of the 450 to get it up to all the same stage, and then we can take the fences off again, do the back panel, which we need to put some more fences on for. Well, more of the edges really, isn't it? Yeah.
No other back bits.
It's just the returns. So once we've moulded up to those, that'll give us the fence to be able to then do the returns. So that would create the inner lip of the wheel arch and the return edges on this area of the clam there, because that's got a lip about that deep on it. And what do we think of these like wide arches? Because I quite like it. I like it's. Yeah, I don't know, I do. Obviously, if you had a mud flap, it would come out and come up to about there. But I quite like the way they just stick straight out. Inside the car, looks a bit better. It's not as if it's had a full valet or anything, but it's a hell of a lot better than what it was. It's had half a ton of dust stuck off it. The dashboard now looks black. Oh, look at that little fella there. That's how the original RS200 looked. I know it's not a perfect comparison, but I'm going to say that again. Similar but better. I prefer this. I prefer this a lot. Love the RS200, but I love the RB200 more. I know I'm biased. No, but I'm not biased. But well, I am biased. But I think quite rightly so. There's a lot of things about this car, a lot of things that are better than the original. Yes, it's not a Group B rally car, and that's a good thing as well, because I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it's a replica. It's not a replica. It's a recreation of a legend, really, but it's a modern take on it, and it's, in my opinion, better looking. The bigger vent on the bonnet, the bigger vent in the front bumper without the spotlights. Obviously we've retained the indicator placement and the vents in there. The lip across the bottom, those are massive improvements. The flushed in pod on the headlights. I prefer the mirrors to the Ford ones. I prefer the door handles to the Ford ones. We also, both of us, I don't know whether you guys agree, and when we see the car fully together, it's easier to judge this one. But the proportions of the car, because we lengthened the door down 70mm and lowered the side skirt down 70mm, proportionately I think the car looks a lot better for it. It's deeper, it's chunkier. You know, this is, I guess in a way it looks a little bit more, I don't know, what would be the word? You know, a supercar's really low from this, you know, there's not a lot of bulk from the sill to the roof maybe. And even the fact that this door handle is now in the middle, from that body line there to that body line there, that door handle's in the middle. Before, it wasn't in the middle. It was down here and over here slightly. So let's have a look on the Hot Wheels. It's hard to see, but it is actually same. It's not in the middle of that panel, it's in the lower part of that section, but ours is sitting in the middle. But yeah, I like the extra chunk that we've got going on from there to there. I also like this. I prefer this. I love this deep inset. I also love the way that the vents, obviously the clam needs to be on, but that clam's about maybe 40mm deeper. The vent is about 40mm deeper than what it used to be. I prefer the bigger vents. I prefer the chunkier body. I prefer the bumper. I just prefer it. Obviously, like I say, I am biased, but I'm well within my rights to be biased. Really looking forward to getting the aerial on as well. That'll be like icing on the cake thing. I know it's completely unnecessary. I probably will put a CB in it as well, just for the crack. So yeah, I'll give the wheels a wipe over, but they have got a light coat of overspray on them. But it looks a lot better for being dusted off. I was gonna blast it off, you know, take it outside and pressure wash it, but I've just sort of clothed over it. And like I say, we've got this Cars and Coffee meet for Border Motorsport Club at the White Heather, which is on the airfield where we're at. So I'll give it a blast off before we do that. Fingers crossed we'll have the clam ready to go and on the car. We shall see. So these are the fences for the corner here, laser cut. So even that bit there, that's the bit that goes into that recess there. It's got to be in the right position. Imagine having to make, zoom out, imagine having to make that out of cardboard, cutting it with a pair of scissors and trying to get that complexity of profile to fit onto there. The 3D scanner and the laser cutter combined, what a job. And you know, just to reiterate the point of when we 3D scanned this, from the 3D scans, we were able to work out the exact surface area of the clam, which was a really handy thing because it would have took us a long time. So again, the 3D scanning has been a massive help for us. I've got one coat of wax, so I need to get it up to 3. I actually made myself feel sick before because I sort of overexerted myself. Right, that's us for, that is definitely another video. So bye from me. See you next time.